Welcome back to Kettlebells and Cocktails. I'm your host, John, back with my chuggy co-host, Nikki Brazier. Nikki, how are you?
I am so glad that I taught you that word. Doesn't it like explain so much about me in just like that, like in one fell swoop? You're like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
well, for everyone that missed the last episode, Nikki used this word chuggy, and I didn't know what it was, and I'm a little disappointed in myself because I have two Arielle Lowens on the show too. And Arielle, I got two 20-year-old daughter, 20-year-old and 22-year-old daughter. And I've learned every slang word known to man for years. Like I've prided myself on being so up on the hippest, newest slang. And Nikki drops this word to me last week. I'm like, is this English? Like, what are you talking
I'm
about?
choosing.
And so I had to look it up and now I know how to do the spelling. So I'm very excited
Yeah.
about this.
What is the context? I've never heard this either.
What? The word
No.
Oh, I am self-proclaimed chuggy. I'm like, chuggy is like millennial cringe. That's my best way of describing it.
Well, okay, give me an example.
I will drown in pumpkin spice lattes. I
Heard.
wore Uggs in college. They're still in the back of my closet.
Chuggy. Okay.
Chuggy.
I am
Yep.
not like
Chuggy.
this, but oftentimes chuggy ladies mainly, but folks in general will have like lots of like, how do I describe it? Like phrases up on their walls, like live, laugh, love
Mm,
type stuff.
your
That's
kitchen
that's
says kitchen. Yeah.
kitchen. Yes,
Yes.
this is where we
Yep.
dine. That is actually not my vibe, but the rest of it is totally my vibes. Spectrum,
Oh, so you are
like everything else.
you're chuggy. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Have you had any pumpkin yet?
Yes, I
Of
have.
course. Of
It's
course.
August, of course. Well, I will say I went to Dunkin' when it came out because I needed to because it was like,
Needed.
a brand new thing,
Right.
whatever. But I hate Dunkin'. I'm a bad New Englander. So I did it. I tried it. I said I did it. And now I'm waiting for Starbucks.
You don't have one where you live?
A Starbucks? No, I do, but their pumpkin doesn't come out until I think it's like the 28th or something.
Okay.
Poor thing. You're just going to have to suffer with Duncan until then.
I know.
It's terrible. Can you
So
imagine?
tough.
But I will
Look,
say yesterday, or was it today, Spiegel posted a pumpkin bread recipe
Mm.
that
course you did.
looked delicious. So when the first day of fall, quote unquote, rolls around, that'll be my celebration with pumpkin bread.
I
I
sent
think
her
you
a
can
message
pumpkin
today,
bread
actually.
all year round if you want to. I don't think you have to just limit that to fall, really.
Yeah, I mean, you're chuggy. Of course you'd say that.
I
Yeah.
would say that.
You
Exactly.
would
I'm
say
glad
that.
we're on the same page here.
Yeah. Danny posted something today that she's now sponsored by Rain Body Fuel or something. And I messaged her. I'm like, they better make a pumpkin spice latte flavor of that energy drink.
Oh, that'd be gross.
It would be gnarly.
It would
It
be
would.
Have you
goodness.
guys ever had the Rebel? Sorry, this is like way off subject, but the Rebel hard coffee?
No, never.
No, those
Mm-mm.
are really good. And they have a pumpkin spice flavor that is
Of course
legit.
they do.
Yeah, you would know.
If you're ever looking for hard iced coffee in a case,
Well, see,
come to me
Nikki.
for follow me for more drink tips.
Yeah. Nikki and I are on wildly different ends of this area. She's the pumpkin
Yeah.
spice latte. I'm just the straight old fashioned black coffee. Just can't do
Same.
it. Can't do
Same.
it. Well, I think we're
That's
both
what I'm too.
Southerners. Are you from Texas originally?
My parents I grew up in the military. My dad was in the Air Force, so we
Okay.
moved all around. I went to high school, half in Nebraska, half in Texas, and then I've stayed in Texas ever since.
Okay. So you're a Southerner. So yeah, me too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. See, Nikki's a New Englander, so she's got to
Yeah.
do the pumpkin spice
Yeah.
thing and the Dunkin' Donuts thing. And
Oh,
Yeah.
she does
you
it all.
would hate the homes down here then, Nikki, because almost every home here in Texas has the kitchen, laundry room, his and hers bedroom, like the signs everywhere that identify
yeah.
what the room is.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a vibe. That's
It
here
is a
too.
vibe.
Don't get me wrong. That's just not I think that was like my
No.
first home vibe, the first house that we like rented before we ever got anywhere. And I was like, I could finally go to TJ Maxx for like housewares. And then I've graduated since then.
Congratulations.
I love it. Well, we need to introduce your daughter. Keeps popping in.
know,
She's so
Oh.
cute.
So cute. I'm
She's so
dead.
cute.
She wants to listen in, so please excuse her. She
No,
wants to
no.
hear everything, but she's Blakely. She's 4 years old, and it's dinner time for us right now. So she's eating yummy dinner.
Yeah.
I I often tell Nikki how much I miss that phase or that age for kids. Mine are all grown
Really?
now, but that was my favorite time when they still thought I was a genius. It
Aw.
it quickly passes for sure.
Now what do they think you are?
But I think they think I'm pretty awesome still,
Okay.
just in different ways, like, but there is a quick moment, like a really quick moment. For me, it was when my kids turned 10 and my youngest was like, "Hey, daddy, can you help me with this geometry homework?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I can. Let me see it." I'm like, "Hold on, I got to check something on my phone." And I'm like, 2 seconds in, she's like, "Are you Googling the answer?" I'm like, "Yes."
Aw.
Eh, I'm like, "Of course I am." And that's when she realized I wasn't brilliant. And I could see the
Mm.
disappointment in her face. And I've never forgotten that. But
Wah, wah.
I know, but outside of that, they find ways to think you're awesome. So,
Yeah, do they follow your account? Are they into that?
so actually, it's funny. My oldest follows, but neither one of them are in the CrossFit. My oldest
Okay.
follows, my youngest doesn't. She actually messaged me, DM'd me today because I posted something, somebody else's joke, but it was about boyfriends, and I put under it that these are my daughter's dates. And she messaged me, she's like, "You might as well just tag me in this stuff. This is a personal
Oh.
attack."
How did she even find it if she doesn't follow you? That's the
Sh
question.
Yeah, she still looks occasionally. I mean, they find
She's
this stuff
yeah.
funny.
She checks up on you.
She's lurking on your account.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like anything else. It's a weird amusement to them, like, there are moments they think it's really cool, other moments they think it's chuggy. It's just
Fair. Fair.
yeah,
Totally fair.
I
but
get it.
it's funny. It was their idea to begin with, so they can only take blame. They can't hold me too accountable to it, but it's
That's
all good.
fun.
Yeah, they're every age is fun, everyone. I miss that 4-year-old age, though. That was
I
probably
know.
the best for
Ever
sure.
since probably 6 months, I've loved every phase, like the discovery, the learning, the walking, the talking. The first 6 months was extremely rough, but I think that's normal because 'cause you're getting used to everything.
For me, 7 months was when I started really enjoying myself versus only being scared.
Right.
Like at 7 months, I was like, you're fun, you're starting to be interactive, and also like you're not nearly as breakable as when you were just a little baby newborn. And I was just spent the survival mode days being like, how do I break this thing? I don't know what I'm doing. So I
Right.
feel you on that.
Does she have any idea what a big deal you are yet, or
No.
you're just mom?
I'm just mom, but she
Yeah.
she knows my routine, she knows I work out, like, I took 2 weeks off after the games, and every day she's like, "Mom, are you working out today?" And I'm like, "No, I just competed, now I need rest." "Dang it. Mom, are you working out today?" And I'm like, "No, sorry." She's like, "Dang it." No, she doesn't, but it's so humbling because I'll go to these competitions, and she'll come back, and I'll be like, "Blakely, I did great, I got 3rd." And she's like, "Mom, why don't you ever win?" I'm
Oh,
like
Right.
Blakely,
so
ouch.
she keeps me humble. You need those people in your life to put you in your place.
So is she asking if you're working out because she wants to join in with you?
No, the only time I let her watch a movie or
Mhm.
TV is when I work out. So that's her way of saying like, "Mom, I'm ready to watch a movie today."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Sorry, no, you've got to hang out with me all day."
How funny. You
It's
know
so
what?
funny.
In the same boat because the only way we can get through a workout now is if we put Hunter down with the iPad. And even
Mm.
then, he won't even really sit with it for like the full ass hour. Like, usually he's good for like 30 to 40 minutes until he's like crying and screaming, Mama. And I have to like do my thrusters with him instead of the
Oh,
barbell. But same vibe. Like, it's just because he's just turned 2. So he's at that age where I'm like, I really need you to sit
oh,
still so I can just do this thing for like an
right.
hour.
Y-
So here's Monsters Inc.
Exactly. So this season, I transitioned to working out at home, and it's been the best thing ever. Because turn on a movie, she's got all her snacks. I put out colors, her toys. So if she doesn't want the movie, she'll color. If she doesn't want that, she'll play with toys. And she's at a safe age where like I can trust her
Yeah.
to not, I don't know, cause craziness. But that's been
But
really nice.
that's really interesting because I've heard from a lot of other athletes kind of the opposite, where maybe they were training at home or doing their own thing and they were like, oh, I'm so glad I got into a gym or I changed my affiliate or something, got around other people to help push me and train me. But you kind of had the opposite track. Like you spent
Yeah.
most of your time at home and you have your own space with your own stuff and your own program. And why do you think that was beneficial for you?
Oh, it was game changing because I had peace. with more people comes more drama. And like, I'd like to say I don't cause drama, but if I want to do my own programming in the corner, if you're an affiliate, that's like, you can't do that. So it
That's
just
tough.
always created uncomfortable conversations and just like put me in awkward positions. So when I worked out from home, it was just complete peace. Like I can make a mess, I can turn up the music, I can do whatever. And I'll take working out alone in my garage over mental stress any day.
That's wild to me because unless I have a coach telling me exactly what to do in the moment, I'm not doing shit. I'm not probably not even showing up unless my husband is like, we have to leave for class like right now or we're gonna be
That's
late. So
hilarious. No, I do have one person that'll show up with me. So me and my training partner Joelle will show up just as like an accountability person. I'm like, I don't care if you do all the reps, if you do half the reps, 2 reps, just one other person helps me to stay on task and accountable.
but then you've got the mental fortitude to be like, I'm gonna push as hard as I need to train for the CrossFit Games
Yeah.
in my own home. That's
Yeah.
awesome. It's crazy.
It's fun because I feel like those are the roots of CrossFit. Like it started in a garage and I'm like, I'm tapping into the secret system, how it was started. But I
Love
love
it.
it. Yeah.
So how has everything been going since you stood on the freaking podium at the I mean, we don't tell Blakely that it was
Yeah.
just third, whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
Whatever.
yeah, but how has everything been going for you? How has your life changed or not changed? I don't
It's
know.
it's so funny you say that because in Madison, crazy. Walk out of the hotel, people are there. Oh, can I get your autograph? Walk to the
Yeah.
car, crazy. And then I come back to Midland and it's so much back to reality. Like walking through the grocery store and people are like, get out of my way. So it's so humbling to be back because honestly, in Midland, nobody cares but my friends and those who do CrossFit understand like what happened this weekend. So it's a good like come back to reality, but then I'll go on podcasts, talk to people, or reflect on what happened that weekend. And it'll just hit me all at once. And I have to look at a picture and be like, did this actually happen? Okay, I didn't dream it. This is real. It's fun.
Yeah, you didn't have like huge expectations for the competition. I
Mm-mm,
feel like you never do. I feel like you're always just
no.
showing up being like, I'm gonna do me this week and see what happens.
Exactly. And working out at home with nobody else but my training partner, every event felt like a new surprise because I was like, okay, I've been working hard, but have I been working hard relative to the competition? I don't know until we get started. Then I'll be like, oh, that was better than I expected. So it might have been good that I didn't have, I don't know, like blinders on. And then when I took them off, it was a nice surprise.
One thing I was impressed with you, Ariel, as I was just doing some research for this and looking back, I've always said forever that the person who had the most joy in CrossFit was Annie daughter. But as I was looking back at your photos and like event videos, you are smiling like
Mhm.
99.9% of the time, which
Thank you.
as someone who cries a lot in CrossFit, I can't get that. How do you find that joy as you're out
Mm.
there just killing yourself?
Yeah, I think part of it is I pray for peace, I pray for joy when I step on the floor, but part of it also is 5 years I made it to regionals from 2014 to 2018, and I always wanted to go to the games but fell short every year. So then to be on the flip side of it and to try for 5 years, retire, have a kid, think I'm done with CrossFit, and then make it to the games the first time. Oh, this is great, the best experience ever. Let's see if we can go again. Let's see if we can go again. It's like each year it keeps getting better and better. And I still think back to the person who tried for 5 years and wasn't good enough. I'm like, man, just to have my name on a jersey, this is awesome. Man, I'm in the final heat. This is awesome. I'm in the lead in the final heat. So there's always little nuggets where I'll like reflect back and I have stuff to be thankful for. And I don't take that lightly, getting a jersey, getting to step out on the floor.
Yeah, it's just such a powerful message. It's one thing I've always loved about CrossFit is just obviously the community and how happy it seems to make everyone. But there's always that shared suffering that we have that I'm never smiling through for the record. I don't think Nikki is either 'cause we've worked out
No.
together a couple of times. But I'm watching you do it and I'm like, man, just finding that moment in this terribleness of what we're doing. Like specifically it was the pink flip. I was watching you move this
Mhm.
tremendous piece of equipment and you just had this huge smile on your face. You flipped this thing and crossed the finish line. It just really blew me away and
Thank
was
you.
really inspiring.
Thank you. I will say when I'm working out in the gym alone, I am not smiling. So, but when I am
Good,
on the floor,
good.
I am smiling. I did actually smile today because me and my training partner turned on the music, get started. And what comes on is, what's it called? It Will Go On by Celine Dion, you know, the Titanic
Yeah, yeah,
song?
yeah. Yeah.
But
My
it's
heart
like,
will go on.
yeah, my heart will go
Amazing.
on. But it's a
You guys are also
techno,
choosy. Welcome to the
yeah,
club.
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
Welcome.
a
yeah.
techno, it has a beat behind it vibes. So when
Damn.
songs like that come on, we're smiling. Other than that, we're always like, man, I can't wait for this to be over so I can lay down but I'll still come back and do it again tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
That I truly think, Ariel, is like part of what makes your whole vibe out on the competition floor like so enjoyable to watch, as John was saying, but also so relatable. Like you are, in my opinion, probably one of the most down to earth athletes of the entire bunch. And this
Thank
is
you.
real. Like my job can be a little bit stressful, like live in competition, right? Because part of my work is trying to find you guys, like when you're in the warm up area, in between events, try to be like, get a little nugget of information about what happened or what's coming, or you're sitting in this place and how do you feel about it? And not everyone is entirely approachable. Everyone is super, super kind and loving and warm. But in the moment, I respect that some athletes really do have blinders on. And when they're in the warm up area, you don't want to talk to them, or you kind of understand over the years who to approach and who not to, and when to talk
Right.
to coach versus the athlete themselves. But if ever I'm in a position where I'm like, oh, I need to talk to Ariel because I need we got to talk about her on the broadcast for XYZ reason, I'm like, thank God. Because I'm never stressed trying to come and find you because out of everyone, you're always like, hey, what's up? Do you want to chat? And I'm like, I don't know. Shouldn't you be warming up or
Warm it up.
stretching or like doing something?
Right.
How are you doing? And I don't think I've
Oh,
ever spent as much time with an athlete talking about myself. Because you're like, well, how are you? And how's your kid?
oh.
And like, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, I'm great. Wait. We're supposed to be talking about you. I have questions for you. And
I
it's just
love
a
that.
lovely feeling to be able to be just so easily relatable to you and what you're doing out there on the competition floor as an elite athlete, but also like, I don't know, just as a reflection of who we all are in the
Yeah.
community out in our affiliates every single day. And so I would love to know from you, how have you been able to maintain that balance of mentality? Like when to turn it on and to charge forward and put your blinders on and be in competition mode. But that seems really small in
Yeah.
comparison to you just like being level headed and taking it all in, being grateful and being just open to
Thank you.
whatever happens.
Yeah.
How do you find that balance?
Well, part one, and then I'll get back to that. We went back and watched the games, and Nikki, you are so good at announcing.
Oh my
When you
God.
went before, I'm like, how does she enunciate so well and make sense with all of it? And then 3, 2, 1, go, the event happened. So I've never seen that side of you because I'm always on the floor about to go. So I was very impressed.
Thank you
But
so much. I just black out. I don't know. I have it all in my head and then the light comes on the camera and I black out and I hope I said it right. And then
no,
I'm like,
it was great. But I think CrossFit is amazing, but I think sometimes people backstage can take it a little bit too seriously, take it too hard, put too much pressure on themselves. I don't actually get stressed out or worried about the workout until we're corralled, marching out on the floor, and then the workout starts. But that's what works for me because if I take it too seriously, I just wasted 2 hours of my life stressing about a 5-minute event that, I mean, I can stress all I want, but what's going to happen on the floor is going to happen. So I try and talk to whoever I can backstage because that's my coping mechanism of having fun, meeting people, enjoying myself. Because honestly, backstage, I'm with some of the like biggest names of the sport, coolest people I only see really once or twice a year. Like if Matt Fraser's next to me, you better believe I'm gonna try and talk to him. Or if like Spiegel last year at the games, we became good friends because I'm like, we're here for more than just competition. 90% of our time is spent with people backstage. I just try and make the most of it. I enjoy it. Sometimes people don't really want to talk back. And I'm like, same with you. I'm like, okay, I read the room. I'll let you focus. I was like, but I don't really like to warm up either. So, like, I get focused on the floor when I need to be.
I was gonna say, like, everything Ariel is saying on this entire show, everyone should take to heart. But the warm-up thing, the
Yeah.
older creaky folks need to just
No.
kinda, like, do a little
Mm-mm.
bit of extra warming up, but that's great. I
I
love that.
I've been skipping warm-ups for years, it's fine.
How you
Totally,
doing?
totally
Yeah.
fine.
How you
How's the
Totally fine.
feeling?
joints?
I'm feeling 53. What do you mean, how am I doing? Which is interesting, like, you're back there with, like, 17-year-olds competing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the women's, division has changed so much in the last couple of years. You've got all these teens coming up, and then you've got some of the veterans and the Spiegels of the world. Like, it's a really interesting to me. Is that harder for you to have those conversations, or you just like, I don't like, I can barely talk to my 20-year-olds. I can't imagine trying to talk to a 17-year-old. Is that hard for you or no?
No, because everybody has something relatable, and I try and, like, Laura Horvath, I actually talked to a lot this year at the games, and, like, I don't have much in common with Laura, but, man, you just, like, ask about, like, "What are you doing after this?" And then it just opens the door. The 17-year-olds do take it very seriously, so they usually don't want to talk as much, and I can read the room and read the vibe and encourage them when needed or smile at them when they need it, but, like, they're not they're not, like, chatty backstage like I am or Emily is and some of them. But the funniest thing was on the podium, it was me, Laura, and Emma, and I noticed they did not give Emma a bottle of champagne to pop.
Right,
And I
right.
was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, yeah, she's 18,
Yeah, yeah.
17." It's like, "Yeah,
I mean, get that girl some sparkling cider. Come on.
yeah, grape
I
juice,
yeah.
something."
I watched Laura open the bottle onto her kind of, and she was, like,
In the
very
face.
Right.
uncomfortable. She was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
no. I shouldn't be. No, no, no."
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I I love it. Just kidding.
if it were me, I'd be trolling them with things that made me think I sounded cool, but I knew intentionally wasn't. Like, "So, what do you think of One Direction?" Just like
Oh, no.
just some
You f
horrible things.
Oh, you feeling chuggy tonight?
You're like,
Like, what?
"Oh, Emma, you look very chuggy in that." You're like,
Stop.
"What? What? Who are
Yeah,
you?"
Stop. Ugh.
exactly.
Wait, John, is it weird that they're literally your daughter's age? Is that bizarre?
Sometimes it
Yeah.
feels that way a little bit. I mean, only because they're so accomplished and mine
That's what I
aren't.
mean.
Uh,
Yeah.
no, actually, no, it's like
What?
anything
No,
else
no,
with your
wait, rewind. That's not what I meant. Not that
no, no,
yours
no.
aren't,
I know
just
what
that
you
in
meant.
general, they're like
What a
basically
jab.
professional
I
athletes at this
know. No, it's funny. You look at it and you just realize that kids are different and accomplished in different ways. Like
Yeah,
both of my kids are brilliant at what they love to do. Like Emma Lawson's a great example of someone she loves to do CrossFit and she's brilliant at it. My youngest daughter, we just moved her into Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati this weekend. And you know what she's brilliant at? Organizing a room.
Oh, good for
Her
ooh,
her.
we
Can she
we
come
put
over here? Because this has been sitting like this for the
you
last
should see this
12
house
months.
this house we moved her into is the stereotypical college house, right? Beer cans everywhere, like, it's just beat to hell, and, after I built spent 8 hours building IKEA furniture for her.
Ugh,
After I got home, I'm like, "Hey, send me a video, I wanna see what your room looks like." This room is gorgeous by the time she was done.
nice.
Like,
that's awesome.
she's brilliant at it. She's a great student, so she's got the things that she's really, really good at. And I think you just have to find pride in what those things are. Like, she doesn't need to win a gold medal for me to think she's awesome. And
Right.
my oldest play is a gamer and is a fierce friend. You know what I mean? Like, she's got dozens of friends that she would just live and die for, and that's a great
Mhm.
thing. So no, I mean, there's moments where I'm like, "Man, could my kid have been a games athlete?" Maybe, I guess, if they'd put that kinda effort into it, but they're happy doing what they're doing, and I love seeing these younger athletes come up and doing what they love, and I hope they
Very
continue to be
cool.
super successful, and if they quit loving it, I hope they quit
Yeah,
because you need to be happy in what you're doing in life, you know? It's kinda
Yeah.
exactly.
simple. So, that was a long answer for your really simple question, Nikki. Sorry about that.
No, it's cool. Doesn't it make you think though how good we'd be at this if we started when we were like 10? Like, dang, these kids
See
Did
just have a wild opportunity to get really deep into the sport.
yeah.
Awesome to see it blossoming.
It is, but it does make me nervous. I never thought about the mental side of it until this year when
Mhm.
Mal and Haley pulled out,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Man, they're doing great physical things, but I don't understand because I've never had that kind of pressure on my back." But I'm like, "Is this okay mentally?" Physically,
Mhm.
they're amazing, the best in it, but are they mentally okay?
That's a fair
Yeah,
question. I think
I
it
ju
extends to past just the teens because the bigger the sport gets and the more eyeballs we get on it, the more people are going to be weighing in and commenting on it who maybe aren't familiar with our community or our standards or the way that we talk or name workouts or dress or whatever. And I just feel like all the athletes in the space come under scrutiny. And it's hard to remember that you guys are all human in addition to being these figureheads of the sport. And so I think that question of mental health when you have the pressure of being in the public eye and being on social media and being on TV and ESPN and whatever,
Right.
it kind of is growing, I feel like, for all athletes within the sport. But for sure, the focus could and should be on the younger athletes as they come up through this because
Well,
they have a very isolated experience.
Right.
yeah,
Not all of us have
it's
that.
a brand new sport too, and so these
Mhm.
athletes they're not getting the experience of, say, an NFL athlete who would have a professional agent and a mental mind coach and a dozen lawyers behind them and everyone else like kind of in their corner. And you think of someone like Haley, who we just adore on this show. I just listened to a podcast with her over the weekend, and she was really open about the criticism she was taking early on and the impact it made on her life.
Mm,
And she didn't have any of that to help her through it. And
right.
fortunately, she's a brilliant young woman who figured it out and did the right thing and took some time off and sounds like she's doing great. But
Good.
I'm with you. It makes me nervous too for some of these
Right.
young athletes coming up. Are they gonna get the support that they need to really work through it? And it's a really, really hard sport physically and mentally, and worry about it a little bit.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
we'll see. We shall see. Time will tell.
Were you there, John? Did you go to the games in person?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was there.
Yeah.
I go every year. It wipes me out for a much different. I know you
Yeah.
guys get killed, but,
Just
All
reveal how tired you
all
were
the
from
yes,
the
cheese
games,
curds.
John, please.
so many cheese curds. No,
I
look,
know.
for me, it's well, you described it earlier, though. It's the same thing. You go and you spend the entire week with people wanting photos and talk to you, and, like, I'm infinitely grateful for anyone that wants to stop
Yeah.
and
Same.
talk to me and whatever. But then when you leave, like, you need a moment.
Mhm.
You need some time for people to not talk to you and to, like, kinda get back to life, and then you also get that experience of, like, nobody cares around here, you know?
Exactly.
They don't know, they don't care at all, and so
No.
it is kind of a weird, like, reintroduction back into this real normal society, so, uh,
Exactly.
but I thought this games was really, really special. I thought this competition year was better than many that I've seen, and bluntly, I was really excited to see a lot of new people like yourself on the podium.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As a
So
fan of the
fun.
sport, that's super fun to see, and I'm one of those that, and I'm not just saying this because 'cause you're on the show, like, I felt like everyone that made the podium this year would have been there anyway. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
Like, regardless of who competed, like, if I watched it and went, "Man, this was not only was it a great year for competition, the people that won should have won." And
Mm,
it was a great spectator event, and
yeah.
then
I unfortunately, I'd probably have to disagree.
Ooh,
I
why's
feel
that?
like if Tia and Mel were there, I don't think I would have stood on the podium, if I wanna be
Oh,
super honest.
interesting. Interesting. Have you
But
been
that's go ahead.
faced with that question or that
No, no, no.
okay.
That's just me personally. Like, whenever the games roster came out, I was like, "Okay, last year I was this. These people ahead of me aren't there this year, so I would assume I'd move up to, let's say, 7th place." But, like, I would do the same thing if they were there. I'd be like, "Okay, they're in," just mathematically. So, I don't agree, but it's like what people have said, you're looking at the fittest who were there that year. So it's cool to say, "I got 3rd."
yeah, see, I
In
always
That's all
that.
look
that
at it
matters. The
I always
fittest
look
who were there that year are the fittest on the entire planet for
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't considering Tia because she was out due to baby. So, like,
Okay,
she
okay.
wasn't even a factor for me. I understand the Mal argument. I look at I'm not debating if Mal would have been there or not because Mal's an amazing athlete, to say the least. I just always look at it and think, out of 10 events, would it shake up the leaderboard where the person that finished second or first would have dropped off the podium? It's a
Mm,
possibility. I just felt you're really worthy to be there. That was kind of my
thank
point,
you. Thank you.
and would have been there regardless. Going in, I don't do a lot of ranking. We don't do that on this show. This isn't our thing
Yeah.
really, but we still do it.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah,
does.
mentally, yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
yeah, we even ranked what we thought would happen on the podium, like, it's just part of the fun of the game. My husband thought Hopper was going to win, and
What?
Yeah, and it didn't happen, but it's fun too, like, before the game started,
Yeah.
just say, like, "I think this person and this person." Like, we were stuck in the airport, our flight got delayed. Getting to Madison was a mess for us, but Tommy Marquez was on our flight, and we actually
Oh,
chatted with him
no.
for a little bit. And, of course, Dylan, my husband's like, "So who's your top 5? Who's gonna be on the podium?"
Oh.
And I'm standing right there, and, like, with all respect, I get it. Like, I wouldn't have picked myself either, but Dylan was like, "Yeah, I bet you he looks so foolish, thinks he's so foolish that we were standing there and he didn't choose us." But it happens. Like, it's just fun to do that type of stuff.
Dylan is my
Wow.
favorite human for putting Tommy on the spot on a delayed flight, being like,
Yeah,
"So who's gonna win?
yeah.
Is it my wife? Is it my wife? You
And
better
I'm
say my
literally
wife."
standing right there. Yeah, exactly. But it's all fun. He's a jokester. I'm a jokester backstage. It just keeps us very lighthearted.
Totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
I learn as we progress in the games, anybody who leaves open a bag of Sour Patch Kids, literally Dylan walks by and just grabs a handful. I learned this year I had to buy like a ton of Gushers fruit snacks, and I'm like, "This is yours. If you need stuff, I bought you stuff. This is mine. This is theirs." And so I had to like prepare him to go backstage too.
Oh my god.
It's
This
so
is the
funny.
greatest thing I've first of all, is it like Sour Patch Kids? Is that like the number one training secret of CrossFit Games athletes? Is that
So
something we're all missing?
competition time, you kind of just eat whatever you can stomach. So people are eating all the bad foods, you name it. I would assume in normal training that doesn't happen. Like for me, that doesn't happen, but games time, I'll just eat whatever. But there's a lot of stuff. Gummy bears, Sour Patch Kids, we had fruit snacks. It's all over.
Just like quick carbs. Something
Quick
that's like,
carbs,
yeah.
yeah, that you can stomach, you can get in. I don't recommend it to everybody, but that's what we do during the games.
And Dylan just got his like grubby fingers in strangers' bags of candy all over the place.
So don't leave your candy out around him or the bag open. It will get taken.
I also love that you did not want to share yours with him. You were like, these
No.
are this so husband and wife like sharing or not sharing is like one of my biggest pet peeves because my husband is the worst at sharing food.
Oh,
The worst.
no.
Like literally even tonight, he like got himself a sandwich from Panera and was only eating half. And I was like, "Can I just have a bite? Because if it's too spicy, then I won't eat your other half. But you offered me your other half that's in the fridge. And so
Right.
if it's not too spicy, I'll warm it up and eat it." And he was like, "No, you can go take a bite out of the cold one that's in the fridge." I was like, "It's warm. You toasted it. It's warm on your plate. It's
What a
massive. Like
savage.
I basically
I
just
love
wanna
it.
lick a corner of the bread to see how
Oh my
spicy the sauce is."
gosh.
And he straight up was like, "No." And I was like, "Matt, if I take a corner of this bread, like, you're not gonna be hungry. I know you're worried about always being hungry." And he would no. I couldn't convince him. He wouldn't let me.
So did you get a cold bite?
No, I was like, "Screw your sandwich. I don't need you or your
I don't
sandwich.
I don't want anything. You walk away.
Hungry." And then I won't eat for the rest of the night to prove a point. No, I looked
Oh
at
my
him and I
word.
was like, "I'm gonna take over teaching Hunter how to share."
Yeah, yeah,
Thanks. Thanks,
yeah.
Dad.
No, I've learned, like, I need food backstage. So I have to say, like, "Don't touch my food because I need you want, like, 2
Right.
different things this
Very
weekend."
different. Very
Yeah,
different. I'm gonna use that argument too.
yeah. When
Yeah,
you're,
you don't need this. You just want it.
want it, yeah.
Don't be a dude.
Oh, he's gonna do the same thing to you. "I need a pumpkin spice latte." He's gonna be like, "Oh,
That's actually true. He will use it
yeah,
against me. He will
don't
weaponize
use
it.
it." Yeah,
Let's don't do it.
don't do it.
I take it back. He doesn't listen to this show, so it's actually totally
Oh,
fine.
you're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally fine. So
You're
supportive.
good.
Yeah, Nikki makes fun of him all the time, so I'm positive he doesn't around here
No,
about
he
it.
doesn't.
That's
He doesn't.
awesome. You've got to, though. Keep him humble.
Mm-hmm.
How was your husband's rest of his top 5 he picked since he bombed on the hopper pick? Was he
He
close?
he I think he put Adler on the podium.
Smart.
Girls, he had Laura winning it. I think Brandon on the podium, and I don't remember who else. But I actually had a dream going into the games, which I usually don't dream about CrossFit, but I had a dream Gabby Magala won it, and then I came in 5th place. So I kinda went into the weekend assuming that was gonna happen because I was like, "Why else would I have a dream about it?" And I actually went up to her and was like, "Gabby, I had a dream. You got 1st at the games." Did not happen that way, but
No.
sorry, Gabby.
But like close, kind of like by almost sisterly extension. Just
True.
saying. Yeah,
Yeah, because they're kind of sisters
sort of. Yeah, you were
ish.
onto something there in your dream. Well, except for the whole you coming in fit. Okay, you know what? Your dream was way off.
Yeah,
Totally fine.
and I didn't want to say this, but I tied for fifth with Mal, and she wasn't even at the games. So I was like,
Oh,
how
dang.
much of a in
Now
this
I'm
dream?
wondering whether or not you even should have told Gabby because your
I know.
predictions were so off. But that's
Yeah, yeah.
be nice.
Yeah, I was like, I believe in you in my dreams.
I love that also your husband didn't put you on the podium. So
No, I mean, let's be honest, I don't think anybody did. I personally didn't, he didn't. The only person who actually did, there were 2 people, one on Instagram who commented on Brian Friend's predictions and said, "Mark my words, Ariel will wind up on the podium." And he like
dang.
retagged me in it and was like, "I called this." And then Nick Matthews was on a podcast and he called it too. So I was like,
Okay.
I got 2 people believing in me. Okay.
Yeah. And so how has your mentality changed ever since you lived this reality? Like,
I
are
know.
you finding a little bit of different perspective these days?
I think I'm a little bit in disbelief of what happened actually happened. But it's like, I've got pictures to prove it. I'll get a
Uh,
paycheck that proves it. I
uh-huh.
have like, I'll go down in history as that year podiuming. So I have to believe it. It's still just hard to believe because kind of like you said, life goes back to normal
Yeah.
and nothing right now has changed.
Okay. Do you use the way that the last season wound up to make decisions moving forward? Like, were you always going to go for another competitive season, or is there a different drive now? Like, how do you use it to move forward?
I kind of want to just keep doing the same thing. And
Yeah.
the thing that sucks with our sport is it's so lucrative. Your body could feel great one season. The next season, you have a shoulder ache the whole season. So it's so lucrative to say next year I'll be back and I'll feel great and do as good. I hope so. I hope to go back next year and improve, but it's all dependent on my body and if it feels healthy.
Totally. Oh, that'll
Hmm.
be fun. I'm
I
very
know.
excited to see the growth year over year, especially since you said like you have the perspective of what it was like to be at regionals and feel disappointed. And
Exactly.
now you have the perspective of standing on the podium that can only continue to propel you forward. I'm stoked to see where you land.
Thank you. I mean, I'm happy if I land right here and this is it. Like, this is great. But of course,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to improve and get better. That's why we CrossFit every day and go every day. So I would still love to see improvement.
But you got to take a whole 2 weeks off.
A whole two
Well
weeks.
deserved. What
And
did you do with all your time?
I actually had a list of random goofy stuff that I like put on hold, training for the game, recovery while I'm training, all the boring stuff. So like one of them was going to Home Goods and buying a pot for our bedroom. The other was
Oh,
detailing my car, picking out weeds from the front. So I've just done normal people things, but it's okay because I don't have to recover. I don't have to train in the evening or anything like that.
I think the funniest thing I saw post games, and I don't remember the full details, so you'll have to clear it up for me, but somebody mentioned something about what the 3rd place prize was, and you're like, "I had no idea, drinks are
oh,
on me."
Yeah,
I thought that's the best.
I had no idea because I mean, I was a little scared to look because if I didn't get third, I didn't want to know, like, oh, I just lost 20 grand for
right.
not going
Right.
unbroken on thrusters.
Right.
So once the article came out, I was like, holy crap, I have no idea. And then he had that and my prize money in there. And I was just like, what just happened? I went from being a stay at home mom to now being like, I got this, honey. I can get Chick fil
Nice.
A tonight.
Hell
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah. It's fun too because my husband is very much the breadwinner and works really hard to support our family. So it's fun to be like, I can contribute to this house now.
That's awesome.
It's so fun. Which we haven't got it yet. The games usually takes about 6 months to pay out, so I'm not gonna spend it till I have it. That's like financials
Smart.
101.
Smart. Very smart. We talk
Sorry.
a lot on this show about how difficult it is to really maintain any semblance of a career with our sport just
Right.
because the opportunities to earn money are sort of like few and far between. More competitions are coming up and offering larger payouts and that's great and they should continue to. But in general, it's pretty small in terms of
Yeah.
the opportunity. And you guys are paying your own way. It's a very expensive sport to be a part
Right.
of, to maintain your body, to do all the things you need to do. It's like it's just so not cheap. So
Right.
it is lovely to see when a payout can really impact you and impact you moving forward and how you decide to continue in the sport. Like I just wish there were more opportunities for you guys.
I know. And I 100% understand that. So for us, it's like this is a huge blessing, but it's not guaranteed next year. It's not
Right.
guaranteed ever again. So it's like winning a game show. You get that once and it's like, will I go back? I don't know. But it's fun because this is my hobby. And obviously I've spent money on CrossFit. Who hasn't? And my husband's hobby is golf. So now I can officially be like, my hobby makes money. I have yeah, if I ever need to, that's like in my back pocket for a rainy day, you know.
Perfect. When
He
he's not
will
sharing his sandwich with you, you
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
sell him.
exactly.
he'll need to go win the US Open to equal what you just did.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Can you imagine? Yeah. But they
pretty
have good money. You work your way up in golf,
Yeah.
but no, mine's good too.
And they like pay their people, I feel like.
I think so too.
I think so. Well, we'll
Surely.
get
Yeah,
there someday. Surely.
it's a
surely. I
li
mean,
it's a
we
li
were on go ahead.
well, it's a little bigger community. That's the thing, though. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
we will be there someday. It's just a ways away, unfortunately,
unfortunately.
but we'll get there.
Yeah. We
Hopefully
were on
soon.
ESPN, so hopefully more
I
eyeballs on the
know.
sport.
Will you do any other
Growth.
competitions? You do Rogue or Waza, any of those coming up?
The plan is Rogue. I found out usually Rogue, usually I get the invite for Rogue September, mid-September, but because I was higher up on the leaderboard, I got it really quick after the games.
Right.
So
Ooh,
the plan is to do Rogue. Sorry, Blakely has her ghost spider mask on.
I
If I
Mhm.
feel
love it.
healthy, I'd love to do Rogue. But Rogue will be interesting because it's very different than the games. Games went great for me. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how it goes competitive wise there because it's two different ball games, in my opinion.
Because it's more strength based or because
Yeah.
they have, yeah, more strong
Usually
man
it's a
type
little
ones.
bit stronger, shorter, like 6-minute events, which is just a different style. I
Mhm.
love the games and the how they do it. Rogue is fun, but it's last year they killed us. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
watched last year.
Yeah, it was
I,
so fun to watch.
it was fun to watch, but man,
Sorry.
I've never been so sore in my life.
Really? What did you in? What was it?
Well, we had the trail run, which was extremely difficult because I was just up and down, so legs were fatigued. Then the next day we had to back squat, 275 for 15 reps. The legs were shot. And then we had all this upper body stuff. One of the workouts had like 47 muscle ups in. It was just like a mini games, and I wasn't really physically or mentally ready for another games to come around.
Yeah, yeah. Dang.
For me,
Well,
that's
it was fun to
the hard
watch for what it's worth.
oh, it's
It
great to
was
watch.
great.
CrossFit's hard to handicap because of that. Like to your point, you never know, when an event's going to be programmed against you. Like Hopper's a great example of that. Your husband
Yes.
picked him, and you put him in a 6 event competition where there's a lot of machines. Put him on the podium, almost guaranteed. Like
Yep.
he is great at that. Like really great at it. If you spread it out amongst 20 events, all bets are off.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to handicap.
it
I
is.
I think truly on the guys' side, and we didn't really talk about this much, John, even when we did our like games evaluation. I just think that the field is so deep that some people like trained and outperformed what any of us thought anyone was capable of.
Yeah.
Like the way that the leaderboard shook out, and people ask me all the time, like, "Oh, what happened to this person?" or "What do you think happened to that person?" And I'm like, "I don't think anything happened to them. I think the people around them just had an insane training year and are really dedicating their full heart and soul and brain into this sport. And we just didn't expect the entire field to get so incredibly epic in one year. That's all I
Exactly.
think happened."
I always look at
That's
these longer game weeks, and I like for the games, I had yourself and Emily Roth, like athletes that tend to do better in longer
Mm.
workouts and a longer week that recover quickly. Like that's where I think people will do well in those things. And I kind of did the same thing on the men's side, and I had no clue what I was doing because
Yeah.
my top five did not look like the top five,
Ooh,
like
tell
at
us.
all. Well,
Tell us.
I had Pat in there for sure because I
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did too. I did
yeah,
too.
everybody loves Pat. You guys Like, has been second like a dozen times, right? So you got to put him in second.
Oh,
Bye.
okay. You were
Sorry,
looking
Pat.
for the year to shine.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like, where you go.
yeah. He's
Yeah,
gonna be second. You just go to second, Pat. Just take it.
you get it.
Um, yeah, and I love Pat. I did not have Roman in there, and this
I
is
had
Oh,
all
him
through.
yeah.
winning.
I know you love him,
I
and
had him winning. Yeah.
I just like
Mm.
I don't follow the sport that close. I knew he was fantastic. I just didn't like think he was going to be so dominant. Obviously, up until the injury, and then I don't know why I always sleep on Adler because the dude's just a
I
beast.
do too.
I just
I
slept
do
on him.
too. So yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I wasn't even close. I had one of the three that were in there. Otherwise, not good. Not good.
Not bad.
This is why I don't do this for a living, Ariel. I'm just
Good.
bank.
Hey, yeah, banker.
Yeah,
A
just a
meme
banker.
guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a real
Well, look,
career right there.
yeah, look, it's I don't know. I don't get geeked out about the sport. Like I actually what I get geeked out about is what we have going on right here with the Spider-Man mask. Like
Mm-hmm.
Go
I
Spider.
yeah, yeah,
Go
yeah. Go Spider.
Lord.
Yeah, it's the
Is
girl version of Spider-Man now.
Oh,
is it
sick.
is
Okay.
that from the new Spider-Man movie that just came out? Because I haven't
It
seen it yet.
it is, and it's awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's just a part 2, like, it's a part 1 of 2. So it totally left us on a cliffhanger, and we were not ready for that.
Oh,
It was
no.
pretty good,
Yeah, I
Sick.
but
haven't seen it yet. I saw the first one and loved it. And me and my girls are all nerds.
you would love it.
We love all these movies, and they both went, and I didn't, and I've sworn them to secrecy because I haven't got around to seeing it yet. But
The best thing you would get this because 'cause you're a meme guy. Do you know the Spider-Man meme where there's 3 of them and
oh
they're
yeah,
all
yeah,
pointing at each
Of
other?
course.
yeah.
That's in the movie.
Oh, I
They
love it.
work it in some way, and me and my husband were like, "Yeah, did you catch that? It's amazing." So they're just really
Meme.
clever. Yeah, it's a meme. It was really good. But our favorite thing to do on the weekends, like, as a family, if there's a good kids movie out, we are at the movie theater watching it.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
what was the
really?
last one you guys went to?
Oh, goodness. It might have been the Spider-Man one. There's there usually will be movies out, but we don't know. We might have went to see Elemental. Have you heard of that one?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
It
yeah.
dying
was
to see it.
it was really cute. It was
It
really cute.
was.
I liked
It's
it.
like it's got the same vibes as the one with the emotions, right?
Yes, but it's a little bit I thought it was a little bit better. Like, one is
Oh, really?
fire and one is water, and it was very much West Side Story, like,
Oh,
"You can't be with them." So, I
okay.
liked it.
Cute.
It was
I
cute.
love a kids movie. I'm like Matt and I are that couple even before we had a kid. We were like that couple that would go to like see the latest Pixar movie.
Holding
For sure.
hands,
Yeah.
sharing the popcorn.
Yes, 100%. No shame in my game. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I
Well,
do
we
too.
still now to this day go back and watch movies that I watched with them when they were her age.
What
Totally.
Easily.
movies? I wanna hear.
Well, anything that's Pixar or Disney, all of
Okay.
them, like
Like
literally all of them. And the movies when they were little were Finding Nemo, The
yeah,
Incredibles,
okay.
Cars, Wally, we had
Yep.
Wally.
Tangled, we had all of those.
Yeah,
And there's about a dozen TV shows that we watched, everything from iCarly to Phineas and Ferb to Blue's Clues to whatever.
I
And so
love it.
we'll routinely go back and watch some of this stuff together,
How
and
cute.
it's still fun, and we still have conversations around the dinner table about it. So, like, I know people have at times will go, "No, why do you let your kids always watch TV?" It's like, we did that together. Like,
Yeah,
that was family time, and even today, we still reflect on it and how fun it was and how much time
yeah.
we enjoyed with each other. So, I love it. Absolutely love it.
That's fun. We went back and watched the classics, Incredibles, Toy Story, Ratatouille,
Yes,
and it's like it just brings you back to your childhood. It's so good.
totally. We're on so Hunter's obsessed with Monsters Inc.
You
Obsessed to
said
the point
that.
where we're like, you know, when you've watched a Disney movie like 300 times and you're like, I could recite this entire film line by line. That's
I
where we're
know,
at.
I can't relate.
Yeah.
God,
Loves it.
dang. We tried
Loves
to
it.
watch it Sunday night, we had family movie night, and we turned it on to start it, and she was like, "No, this is too scary." But it was you.
Really?
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he loves it. But I don't think he fully gets because he just turned 2, right? So he's like
Okay.
watching it when he was 1. I don't think he fully gets the scariness of it
Yeah.
because he's only recently been turned on to Finding Nemo and like rewatching it with him a couple weeks ago was the very first time in a long time that I've seen it, and I was like, "Shit, this movie is kinda scary." For my,
Really?
like,
Parts of
brand
it.
new 2-year-old? Yeah, well, like, the
Oh.
sharks attack the fish, like, everything's attacking the fish constantly, and also, like, it's a dad who lost his wife, and then he lost all of his kids, and then he lost his son, and, like, this as a relatively new parent watching it, I was like, the whole time, just like, "This movie is horrible," but that's
That's
all he wants to watch
hilarious.
now, so here we are. We're in
You're just
frustration
over
land.
there crying in the
Truly.
corner.
Yeah, and he's like, "I don't think he gets it," so
That's so
it's fine.
funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
For me, it was the movie Up. That one had me
I
sobbing and, like
can't. I
it had me
can't.
sobbing, like, in 8 minutes flat. It's terrible.
Same. They came out with a short clip of Up. They did it before Elemental. Oh my gosh, in the theater, I was sobbing. We're talking like 2 weeks ago, because you know how they get you in Up.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
give
yeah.
away not gonna give away any spoilers, but I literally just, like, looked at my husband and was like, "I love you," and I was crying.
Are they making a second Up?
No, they just do
Just like the
shorts.
shorts,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. When you're mentally ready for it, it's beautiful, but, oh, if you love someone, it just pulls at your heartstrings.
Dude, some of those Disney shorts, we've gone through a bunch of them, like, just on the Disney Plus app, and some of them are they rip your heart right out. They don't
Yep,
tug at your heartstrings, they just rip
they
that
just rip
sucker
it.
right out, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
well, you need to go see that one if you like
"Yes,
Up.
for sure." Oh my god, we need to I haven't seen a movie since I was pregnant. How do you make
What?
time from well, when can he sit? That's the question.
Yeah,
When
that's
is he
true.
gonna be able to sit through the whole thing without, like,
Yeah,
just wanting to run up and down the aisles?
and we didn't take her till she was 3, 3.5, so I get it. You're not there yet, but you will love it.
Matt spent most of Games Week running around the concourse of the Colosseum with Hunter. Like,
What's the
last
conch
the like, the concourse,
Oh, like
like, where
the
the snacks are sold and whatever, just,
Yep.
like, around the outside. 'Cause, like, last year, he would, like, wear him, and he had his, like, little headphones on, and he was, like, interested in what was happening down on the floor, and this year, he just wanted to run.
Oh,
So, I don't think he's gonna sit for if he won't sit for an event at the CrossFit Games, I don't think he's gonna
there's no way. He won't sit for a movie while you're working out. He won't sit
Right.
for a movie. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. We get, like, a solid 20 to 30 minutes of stillness, and then
there you
he's
go.
off.
So you guys are you starting kindergarten this year? Is that will that be this year coming
We
up for her?
start next year. So when she's 5, she's
Okay.
only 4 right now, but we
Okay.
are I can't even mentally fathom. I don't know what we'll do. Schools are always horrible. Everybody says they're horrible. I have no idea what we'll do, but I think about it when it's like a month away. So I'll have to slowly start thinking about it probably in March. That's when I'll actually but until then, I'm like, school's not starting this week. I'm fine. I won't even
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, I need to get on your level of, like, not worrying about things because 'cause I'm like, "He's gonna move out someday when he's
Oh
18." I'm,
my
like, already
gosh.
worried about, like,
That's hilarious. No,
that.
I don't think about it till it's here, and that's a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing.
As long
Well,
as you're not
those are
living
the
with this crushing anxiety, it sounds like
Yeah.
a great
there's still fun times. There are moments where it's hard.
Yeah.
When I would I had my oldest, I would drop her off, and she'd just head off with her friends, wouldn't even look at me a
Uh,
second time, just, like, off and running, and my youngest would hold onto my leg, and I'd have to pry her
oh,
off, and she'd be crying and whatever. And now they're the opposite. She's the one that's living off in Cincinnati, and my oldest is living upstairs playing games every night, so you just never
oh,
know what you're gonna get, you know?
yeah, and you're gonna keep her there as long as possible, right?
Most days I feel that way. It's not
When
every day, but
when for you would be the age that you're like, "Okay, this is a little crazy. It's time to branch your wings."
oh,
I
that's a
say this
great
I say this because moved out of my parents' house when I was 25, and I was like, "At what point would they have kicked me out and said, 'Come on, girl, this is ridiculous?'"
Yeah, I don't know. I've thought about that, but I truly don't know. Like, I moved out at 18. Like, I was
Well,
gone quick. She's 22, but it's like having a ghost in the house. You don't really see them at that
I
age.
get
They
that.
just yeah, yeah. They just come down and there's like a plate with some crumbs on it. Like she ate something in the fridge, but you don't even know what it was. I don't know. Probably 25 is
Yeah.
probably getting pretty close. And you start to see them get their own independence as time goes on. So it's
Mm,
like like I kind of feel about her moving out the way you're thinking about kindergarten right now,
yeah.
which is I know it's coming. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. You'll think about it when you have to think about it.
Yeah, I bet
Wow. You guys
I'm
don't pre-think about every single scenario 24/7 in your mind.
I
I need
worry
to get
about
on
it.
some
I worry about it, but like if you sit around and worry about being an empty nester, if you'll just cry yourself to sleep every night, like
Yes,
it's
that's
tough.
exactly right, John. Yes, that's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what I do.
Oh my gosh.
It's
It's
true.
It's
tough.
hilarious.
It's
Yeah, it
tough.
is.
Well, just soak it in while you have it. That's my only advice to parents
Yeah.
of young children. Soak it in while you have it because it flies by. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And play the Spider-Man games. I'm loving this little Spider-Man mask.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
too.
She has a shooter too that she'll go around and shoot people with. Little
Like a
spider web.
web shooter?
Yeah. That was a Christmas
Cool.
present. Yeah. We did
That
sometimes it's just hard to find toys in a room full of toys. We can't find it right now, but it's there somewhere.
I know that life. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yes.
I love it so much. Well, Errol, thank you for visiting with us tonight.
Yes.
We know you're busy and, any moment taken off is time away from family, so we certainly
Wow.
appreciate it.
Thanks for
A
having me.
and
Love
we
to
got to
chat
see
with you guys.
this cute one, her
I
little
know.
mask.
She came
Love it.
it's a bring your kid to work day, so we're good.
This
She
is
came with me to
perfect.
work. Yeah.
This is perfect.
I'm just kidding. Thanks for bearing with us.
Oh, I love
No,
it.
this is
Well,
great.
yeah, thank you so much. Nikki, it was great seeing you and your chugginess tonight, as always.
Yep.
Anytime. I'll bring my chugginess to the party every time we record. How's that?
Perfect. Well, for everyone listening, we appreciate you guys joining, and we'll chat with you guys soon.